worked with 11,000 businesses across the 62,000. It was all free. So you don't need to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce to access most of our technical assistance. The Chamber is really the added value: promotion, support, advocacy, community, and that's where you join the Chamber. It's like joining your gym. You want to build up your business, like you build up your body, but you got to use the equipment. Like, a lot of people think you can just write the check and then all of a sudden it's going to help your business. It doesn't work that way. You got to come use the equipment. Sometimes you need a personal trainer. We'll give you a personal trainer, but if you don't use it, it's not going to help you.
How many of them, in terms of your 1,600, what's the percentage of your SMEs?
Oh, they're take that number minus 200 and you got the answer.
Okay.
About 1,400, yeah.
So I was one of the things that I ran after I was going to actually establish a chamber, a Department of Commerce in EDA, and I never did. Maybe that solution is that we find an appropriation for the chambers so they can start doing something. Because right now we're like, well, we're doing so many things and we can't find people to work. So if we give the chambers each an appropriation to do stuff in the business community, they know what they need. That'll help them with their membership as well.
Yeah, and they have the existing relationships too.
That's right.
The governor I worked under said, he always mentioned that the private sector in the Virgin Islands has no leadership. And that's
I agree with that. I
part.
think that's a big problem in our chamber. It's very loose. I mean, it's not a real good advocacy group. We do more advocating than they would.
They
They're
for
good
themselves.
bitching.
The challenge that I have found is that membership-based organizations, the small businesses don't have the money to be the membership, so the organizations don't get to pay a staff. They all ideas of doing a business.
It's not expensive. Ours are mostly small businesses now. St. Thomas
What should
should
be
be
like a small,
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's not a high dues. It's not that high dues.
Yeah. When I was a consultant, I participated. But they don't do anything.
That was, I mean, I've been a member now for 1 or 2 years, and they have.
It's after hours, that's it.
And I'm not interested, I'm interested more in business incentives.
They need executive director. I don't know what they have in Virgin Islands, but I found.
They have a part-time executive director.
Well, that doesn't work.
They don't have that anymore.
Well, they also have, every chamber is in the United States, it's different in Europe and other parts where it's mandatory.
That's right.
But it's an old school way of running a business association. And every chamber finds themselves in the same position. How do you reestablish your value proposition given the technology changes, given the cultural changes, and things like that? So some of them align with tourism, and that's the only thing they can do. Some of them align with economic development.
Exactly.
Right? So, and then there's like, what we try and do is think out of the box, right? So we had to use this phrase with Kathy, not your grandfather's Chamber of Commerce. And what do I mean by that? Is like, if you ask a millennial, tell me about the Chamber of Commerce, if they even know what you're talking about, maybe they'll say, oh yeah, my grandfather, he worked in banking for 30 years, and I remember the chamber had a dinner for him when he retired, and they gave him a watch, right? Like, so you really do have to reestablish what your value proposition as a Chamber of Commerce. I'll be honest with you, a major crisis like a pandemic opened up a whole host of opportunities for us to do that in an accelerated way. So on business recovery, on non-traditional financing, right? I mean, these are the things where we sort of hit it out of the park. And we were the ones, not government, we were the ones that were running people in the community one-on-one when government was still trying to have a meeting to figure out, like, how are we going to market, a new grant program.
Maybe you should bring him down. Because I mean, like the chamber there, just to talk to people there, because
I'm happy.
people, like one thing, so gross receipts, you pay 5% of your gross, right?
After $9,000.
That's the thing, right? No one, even though inflation has gone through the roof, everybody's bitching about this tax, but no one has come back and said, well, right now we don't pay over $250,000.
It's $9,000
a month. I never understood that either. But
it should just be a flat rate, whatever it is.
But they haven't come back to adjust it. They have an active chamber. They don't have any legislation for businesses that they're moving. Stuff that I'm trying to do is like all this, to get a business license in the Virgin tax forgiveness letters, you need a fire department inspector, you know, all kinds of things. The chamber should be like, nah, move these things out of the legislation.
That's right.
You just get your.
Let's stop shop.
We can stop the tax. We did,
We,
it's no longer.
but they didn't stop it, we stopped it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
And
that's,
I'm the advocate.
I've been trying that from since I was at licensing, because to move business license away from occupancy, because what they do is they figure, because we don't do enforcement in other areas as well as we should, let's bottleneck everything in the business license area.
oh, I see.
Yeah, so they create that
That's so
bottleneck, which is crazy, you know?
And the other piece of it with the taxes is like, okay, we don't want to get rid of the gross receipt tax, but then look at it for individual commodities, rather than just giving it across the board. Say, okay, we want it on prescriptions, or we want it on, you know, products made in the Virgin Islands, exemption. But, yeah, go ahead.
So the other thing, I just want to say, because I think the sweet spot immediately, right off, if you want to win within the next like 3 years, one of the fastest growing segments of Brooklyn's labor force are freelancers. And, but right, they can work from anywhere. They can work from anywhere. Like, they can work from the beach, right?
Used to do it.
Yes.
Then I thought
I have
about
a
this.
hot spot, yeah. But, you know, I just wanted to, just take a moment to address the brain drain about young people leaving and young people coming back. Aside from the VI, you know, that you want back, there are a lot of other people who would be happy to come, because I've been seeing in the last 2-3 years, we're losing our young people here too, and they're going to Asia. They're going to Korea, they're going to Japan, some are going to China, some are going to Vietnam, but mostly to Korea and China, right? And they're getting teaching jobs, yes, and they're teaching. And, you know, especially in Korea, it's very rare that you can get a corporate job. You're going into teaching. But they go, matter of fact, I have a niece with her husband and their 4 kids about to pack up and go to Korea, because his parents have been there and they don't want to come back. The opportunities, and I'm just saying, living free of racism and having good schools and having community. We used to have community, now we have neighborhoods. There are a lot of young people who, if they knew about the opportunity to move, because maybe a couple of months ago, do you know something about a state where they're paying people to come move there? I said there are about 13 states in the U.S. because their population has gotten older and their young people are leaving, going other places. So they're trying to get young folks to come back there. A lot of Midwesterners are coming to New York, and I don't know if I real estate prices, but New Yorkers are like, I think Atlanta, North Carolina is the state now that New Yorkers are filling up.
Yeah.
People will leave and come
And
back.
there's so many incentives out
You
there.
made me think about it, because we should be recruiting in New York, because
Yeah.
if you sell your house in New York, you could live in the Virgin Islands.
Recruit at the
They have
colleges.
three houses in
Recruit at the colleges. Dr. Ramsey, the new president of Medgar Evers College, walked in the door making a STEM deal. She got money from the state, she got money from the city, and she built a trial with Kingsborough College, and one other entity. What was the other entity? It was one other entity. And so to create a STEM training and workforce training through the college, right? I'm taking my relationships with biotechs and pharma and saying, hey, I need you all to come, you know, people, your medical director, whoever you want, I need you to come to this college and talk about opportunities in biotech and pharma. They have a nursing school, they have chemistry, they have science and technology and information. And a lot of nurses, you know, they have to go to the hospital to be a nurse. You can go into biotech and become a clinical care coordinator, you know. And so I've been talking with pharma and biotech and coming to the colleges and show these students what the other opportunity is in the pharmacy school. You know, you can come in and do research. And again, coming back to USDI, clinical research organizations are the one that set up clinical trials everywhere in the world, right? Right in our backyard. I keep hearing companies talk about diversity, want to diversify their trial participants. I don't see the trickle down information into communities, but I also don't see those opportunities for jobs for people who are in the community to say, hey, listen, I would like you to go and check this out. Why couldn't there be a CRO in the Virgin Islands? Why couldn't we get companies to come and build their cell and STEM and cell and gene labs there to do? I toured a couple of
That's
them.
what they do.
Oh, okay.
We also, the university now has a simulation center that is amazing. At the state of the art. We're trying to attract companies to come down and work.
And that's in St. Thomas, right?
In St. Croix. That's
St. Croix.
So make sure you're connected.
Yes,
Because we're running against the clock right now. And so we're getting ready to do the budget standing between the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. And then we're gonna do the tour and then we're gonna head out to the greater, New York Chamber of Commerce. But shouldn't there be more?
We'll switch lanes.
Thank you.
But yeah, you're right.
Randy?
We're gonna get on the road like 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right?
I'm gonna move that forward.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Visit Beverly.
That was my pen.
Ironically, you know what it says? Metro Optics.
There you go, Metro Optics.
Hey, Anthony, you forgot your jacket.
You know what's coming, right?
Yep.
Where's the Anthony?
I said, if you don't mind, just for,
I made a
do you mind
mistake
moving just a
I
little
mentioned
bit
this
towards
in
your
USVI.
governor? Do you
My
mind just
family
squeezing
chat
it in?
is
There you go,
going
so we'll get the meter. There you go.
First we all should look up.
My
Let's look up.
mother-in-law's weighing in.
She lives in New York.
Wait 1 second.
No, she did Maryland, but they just, everybody weighing in.
Oh, they in Maryland, what part of Maryland?
Reggie, do me a favor. You got a million phone, you could get the pink from.
My son lives in
Okay. One second.
So I live in.
We have to sign 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, for right now, anyway.
Yeah, until he comes to
So,
St. Thomas,
but we
St.
can live
Croix.
in.
Look up, so, I'm sorry, we're gonna say what we're
Yeah,
doing.
because right now, I have the Baltimore's primary, but I also have a house in Sarasota.
This,
That goes back and forth.
Yes, you can sell that.
Oh, no, I'll just get one and.
all right, folks. All right. Thank you so much, Randy, for hosting us, and the Governor of the United States Virgin Islands. I really enjoyed the robust, candid discussion. There was some good brainstorming as to how we see some synergies and how we can work together in areas that are opportunities. So what we would like to do is part of the delegation trip with the governor, led by the governor to New York, is, and in the spirit of collaboration between the U.S. Virgin Islands, both public and private sector, we have a memorandum of understanding that we're going to sign. Each 3 of us have a copy, and our signatures are going to go on the MOU, representing the beginning of what I think is going to be a very great relationship going forward.
You're here, right? Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Everyone in. Let's everyone get in. Come on. Great. Awesome. So on behalf of Brooklyn, we have these wonderful gift bags for you. Everything in this bag, from jelly rings to marshmallow twists to pita chips to Red Hook Wine, Cold Brew, and the Hava Bars is all made here in New York, in Brooklyn. So we can leave these here on the side for you because we got to go on this tour. And then the last thing, Governor and Anthony, we're going to officially pin you with your Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce pin. So for those of you, it's the Brooklyn Bridge in the B. So this one is for Terry.
Thank you.
Terry's got like 12 of them, but that's okay.
Wait, but I got a special thing today too.
Jim.
I got a Brooklyn hat to go with it.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Thank
So-
you.
I'd like to turn it over to, I would like to say the best landlord in the world, but I would never really call him a landlord because we're like family, and this is kind of how this relationship works here. Industry City is a very special place within a special place called Brooklyn. So Jim, this second part is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jim. Well, welcome everybody. I'm sort of losing my voice because I've been speaking all week, but I just want to say, Randy, every time I hear you speak about this, do you guys want to take pictures first?
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Every time I hear him speak about this, it's inspiring. Honestly, really, because what you do is the real deal. Like, you are not your grandfather's chamber, right? Like, I've watched him do it. He works with our tenants, and we've been doing some stuff recently with SBA loans and things like that, and through other relationships. And honestly, you're making a difference for a better world. And I think you all saw and felt that today. It's the real deal. And I'm not just saying that because he's a tenant, because I don't consider him a tenant either. I consider him and the chamber partners. So, hello everybody, welcome to Industry City. So we're going to go on a walk. It's a little bit tricky with a group this size, so stay a little close, but I'll just give you a little summary so you see what we're going to look at. So, Industry City is a 6 million square foot, 16 building, 35 acre adaptive reuse project. And what is that?